Welcome back here with Whale Mentality. We're here downtown San Diego with Mr. Mike Bullard with Valor, here to give us some tutelage, share what he has to offer to you young whales out there, as well as you already existing whales that want to continue to expand your wealth, tap into some of this. So go ahead.
Michael Bullard.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain to us what you do.
What do I do? Well, we do mortgages nationwide, mostly investment, non-owner occupied. Owner occupied, we do California, Arizona. However, we have a lot of commercial opportunities going on right now with investors. Rates are a little bit higher, so a lot of investors are still in the game since they're short-term loans. The market has slowed down for family residents because the rates have gone up a little bit, but there's a lot of opportunity out there for investors right now that are okay with short-term loans. Even though the rates are a little higher, you get out of them quick and there's still opportunity to make money. What I've been seeing, a lot of people, the clients that have been contacting us are the people that are taking advantage. There's always money to be made no matter what market you're in. But in this market, if you have been stable and your knowledge, you're able to use your money to take advantage of this market right now when prices are going down a little bit, and even though the rates are higher, you're able to get out of them at a shorter term. So that's what we're doing right now. We're helping a lot of investors that are, whether they're investing in single-family residences, duplex, or commercial buildings or businesses, they're still booming. So that's kind of what we do here at Valor Lending.
So, Mike, would you say in this time of the winter, we're right here in our winter in San Diego. I mean, blessed by the best. I mean, you can see it. But in this, real estate winter, crypto winter, life winter, would you say there's still some big fish swimming with the whales in this real estate industry?
Huge fish. It doesn't stop. Matter of fact, I talked to a client in Canada who's building a $150 million apartment complex, and we told him, hey, your construction's probably going to slow down because of the winter. He goes, oh, you guys are wussies in the United States. He goes, we don't slow down no matter how cold the weather is.
That's right.
So investors, money never stops, man. Money doesn't sleep.
Okay, I understand. So would you say that's the approach of what type of mentality would you believe someone would have to continue to press on when, others are pulling back, when others don't have that courage, or when others see people losing money? What type of mentality do you have to continue to press on in that environment, in the real estate environment?
Shut the TV off. Don't listen to the news.
Ooh.
Shut the TV off. Don't listen to the news. And believe in yourself. Believe in what you have. There's still people making money in this market. Matter of fact, there's some people making even more money in this market than they were before. You just got to have the right sources, the right mentality, and not be afraid to fail.
Last thing, I'm a believer when you create fear. When you create fear with people, you have two things. You have people who eat up fear, and then you have people who truly, the majority, run away from fear. Yeah. And I believe, like right now in our economy, that there's been a lot of fear created around this. I heard you mention maybe about 3 or 4 times in the introduction about interest rates. So is that one of those lingering fears that you would probably say people have, is jumping in with that interest rate?
Well, I've always heard this saying, I'm sure you guys have in years, that there's people that follow, there's people that do, and then there's people that wish they did, right? So right now, the followers are the people that are worried about the rates. The people that make things happen, they see the opportunity out there, and they know that they're not going to let an interest rate stop them from making profit when there's other ways to make profit. You might pay a little bit higher in finance charges, but there's still a lot more money to be made out there, and you can't let that stop you. And again, I'm talking about investors right now, the people that are actually investing either in businesses or commercial or whatnot.
Okay, so I'm gonna take us a little bit to the left, because I want to talk a little bit about you and what you do, because we're talking a lot about the investors themselves, but what if somebody wants to be a lender? What if somebody wants to be a realtor? What if somebody wants to be a broker? What do you tell that person who's like, I don't know, the market's a little iffy right now, but this is something I've really wanted to do? What advice would you give them on getting into that industry? How did you do it? What are
Should they get in?
You look for? One, you got to believe in yourself. Okay, so no matter what time it is, if you believe in your work ethic and your discipline and you're confident about it, you're going to find the right sources that are still making money, and you're going to follow their lead on how they're doing it. So to answer some of your questions,
a mentor,
whether it's a mentor, you always got to have a mentor, absolutely. But someone that has already lived through these bad situations. We're going to talk to Omar Garcia later, who's been doing this a long time, who has outlived bad times and good times. But there's opportunity in both sides. You got to diversify your portfolio. If you're a one niche game, then you're going to hurt during certain times. But if you open up your horizons to every loan in the book, for example, which is what we take pride in at Valor, is that we have every loan in the book, whether it's single family residence, whether it's commercial, ground up construction, hard money loans, we do it all. We just adjust to our market. So right now, the reason I was talking about interest rates is because your single family residence homes their refis and their purchases have slowed down a little bit. Right. I'm not saying much. People, if you listen to the news, they're going to tell you it's all messed up. No, there's still people out there buying and refinancing their homes.
Right.
Right.
However, you really want to take advantage of prices have dropped on short-term loans. So the rate's going to be up, but your finance charges aren't that high because you're going to get out of that loan in 1 to 2 years. So to answer your question, Joanne, someone who wants to get in this, one, you got to be confident in yourself. You got to have the work ethic, and you got to be surrounded by people that have already lived through these times that know how to make it happen during these times.
Yeah.
Got you. So okay, no, go ahead, Lee.
No. So when you get on the like down to, I'll call it the core characteristic of the person. So regardless, we're talking about what industry you're in or what actually might be your craft. But if you look at down the characteristics and people who persevere or people who might take advantage of situations, what are some of those things that you say like here are some nice indicating building blocks of characteristics that people should build upon,
or that they should work on.
They should work on.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Just acknowledging that's something maybe I can be better at.
Risk of failure. You cannot be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
So in these times, and I'm not going to say to get in this tip blindly. So if you're going to get into this type of business, whether it's on the broker side, investor side, whatever it is, you cannot be afraid to fail. You have to be able to take some risk, calculated risk, obviously, and not be afraid to fail. Because sometimes some of the biggest opportunities come when we feel like we failed or we take a step back. But sometimes you got to take a step back to take two forward. Yeah. So you can't be afraid of taking.
Okay, so fear of failure.
Fear of failure. There's a guy that if you get into this business, I'm sure you guys have all heard his name. He actually started in the car business where I started. His name is Grant Cardone.
Oh, okay.
And Grant Cardone now is in the real estate side. And one of the things he taught me as a young car guy was you can't be afraid to die. Everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one's willing to die. So that's the kind of risk you got to have. That's the kind of mentality you got to have. Hey, man, I'm okay if I lose some money or if I go down to the bottom, but if I'm on the right path, eventually my opportunity is going to come. So you just got to take that first step forward. Yeah. And once you take that first step forward and you're surrounded by the right people, you're going to be guided. You might have some obstacles in the way, but if you have that work ethic and that personality, you're going to get past those obstacles no matter what kind of market you're in. We're in the greatest country in the world, the United States. There's always people making money. Just take that first step in, and one way or another, you'll be successful if you just continue at it. Like anything else in life. Just don't, if you get knocked down, get back up and keep going. It'll come to you.
So I heard a saying once, and I can't exactly remember, it was probably some actor or somebody who said it, and they said the only difference between somebody who was successful at something and somebody who wasn't is that one person stopped at no.
That's right. That's right.
Stop trying.
Well, in sales, we've always said in sales that your selling ability doesn't really start until you hear no. Anyone can say, hey, sign here, do this, do that. But when someone says no to you, that's when you get tested as far as, your ability to overcome these objections. First of all, you got to believe in what you're talking about. If you're not passionate and you don't believe in it, then it's not going to work. So you have to believe in what you're talking about. And
I don't believe in no, Mike.
You know what?
It's a special characteristic, but there are people like that. Yes. Failure, and what we were talking about, or we've been talking about a lot in these podcasts and such, is that it's not even that you're not scared of failure, right? It's that you don't let it stop you.
Right.
Everybody has that fear, and it's important to acknowledge that. It's easy to be like, I'm not scared. But when you really think, of course I'm scared. But there's the ability to be scared and say, but fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, and it's like, and I guess for someone like myself, and I know you always say it, Joy, like Leon probably heard me say this 1,000,000 times, like proper preparation prevents poor performance.
5 Ps.
Yes.
And so I truly believe that to my core.
Oh, I do agree.
And with believing that to my core, you can't tell me no, because there's something in there that obviously you didn't prepare properly. You're coming to me for a reason. Yeah. We met for a reason. So let's get to the relationship base. And so I believe I figure that part out first, and then we can go to the need. So and when we're talking about fears, I think that's natural. It's like, I have Kelly's turn. My daughter, I have a daughter, Kelly. She's 18. She's going to USC next year. Nice. And when the more and more that hits, I have these fears of, and not just a fear of a daughter going to school. I'm like, okay, financially, safety, everything away, being away now on your own.
But you can't let that be like, no, you can't go.
And absolutely, that's more for me. She has to go.
But if you didn't have fears, would that be natural? When you think about the concept of it, if somebody just lived fearlessly, there's actually terms for that, and none of them are good.
Yeah.
Like, it's it's healthy to have caution. It's healthy
Caution.
it's healthy to think things through and not always just jump all. Think it through.
Right. Think it
So,
through.
but I'm saying, but with those fears,
do it.
but with those,
Don't
what
let
I
it
say,
stop you.
quote unquote, fears, I go back to the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So if I know I personally have these fears or cautions, I am putting things in steps for myself
to mitigate that.
to mitigate myself to prepare properly, that I think the skills that I think she should have out on her own. And so, and if I didn't do that, I think that's where fear eats people up. I think that's where ultimately.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Things like
preparation. I'm sorry to
go ahead.
No.
So
It's preparation.
Preparation, because it's
Preparation.
we all went to school a little bit. Some of us went to school more than others. But imagine when we were in high school and you stepped into a class and you hadn't studied for a test. You have that fear, like, man, I don't have no idea if I'm gonna pass this test or not. But if you stayed up all night and all week studying, you want to show up to that class because you're prepared. You can't wait for that test to get put in front of you.
Tackling.
You're still gonna have those. You know, butterflies, but you know you're prepared. So preparation
But
equals
my question,
confidence.
that's not my actual question.
Sorry.
No,
All right,
no, it is. And it is preparation. But what I'm trying to get to is that very first step, which I personally think is.
You got to jump.
No,
You
have to
You get the
figure out what
calculator
you're.
jump, though.
Yes, so you have to have figured out what you're what they are. What are the problems that I'm facing?
Right.
It's not like you're just prepping her for everything. You have to tell yourself
What
are
are
the
my
things,
fears?
what am I facing? Okay, how am I going to prepare for that financially? How am I going to prepare to be confident
Correct.
with her safety? How am I going to prepare for how she's going to interact with people without parents around? Like, you have to be able to pinpoint what those are in order to prep. In order to do good on a test, you had to have some sort of study guide.
Correct.
They didn't just say all chemistry.
Yeah. Right.
They said you have to know these specific things. So I think the first step before you
And
can
that's where I
prepare
take it
is
from.
being able to acknowledge what those things are, which means
And
you
that's
have
business.
to truly evaluate.
But that's business. That's a
You have to
contract.
truly evaluate what it is.
That's a contract.
You got to be willing to do the worst case scenario. So
Yeah,
you're going to be calculated, like Leon said, and what you're saying is you got to think it through. Okay, what's the worst that can happen to me if I take this jump right now, right? And you know what? I'm okay living through that. Most successful people, and I'm not saying all, but a lot of successful people will tell you that right before they became successful, they were they were sleeping on their friend's couch, or they were living on raw noodles, right? You got to be okay if that happens to you. And you got to be prepared for that. But as long as you continue on that road and with that discipline, that work ethic, you know that your day is coming. And if you're confident that you have that right preparation and you're okay living through the tough times, no matter what it may be, your day will come if you're doing the right thing and following the right steps and have the right mentorship around you.
We just heard that
you
twice.
can't jump alone.
Yeah.
You can't jump alone. You got to make sure someone is there jumping with you or knows what you're jumping into. So you got to have a team. I'm not saying for anyone to just take a risk without knowing what they're doing.
Well, and so a lot of what we do with Whayle is in that space. We call it the 3 E's, where we're trying to get educated on whatever that item is. And so like Joy mentioned, you have to know what you even to even build your plan around or what. So you knock out the education. Once you get decent education, now you're getting some experience. So you're battle testing that education.
Let's do it.
Right? And so you're going out there and saying, look, like, let me put it in practice. Let me see if this really does work.
Yeah.
And then that's still more education. That's another iteration. You're going back. You talk about not being scared to fail. That's exactly it, because you need that failure point just so I can get a data point.
I need a base point.
I don't know if it was left or right. I had to go left first. If you go, shit, it's not that. Go
That's
right.
why some people feel there's no real failure as long as you get up and keep going, because it was a lesson.
It's a lesson.
It's a lesson learned. You can't learn a lesson without having. Yeah, you have to.
So what's after? I saw your 2E. What was this? What will you keep going?
So after you've gotten educated and you're banking on that experience, now you're good at that craft, and now you start doing that engagement. Now just stay plugged in. Just do it. I know it now.
Yep.
I've already shot the basketball from the free throw line 10,000 times.
I've got my first loan. I've done it.
I've had loans fall off. I've
had a loan fall off. Yeah.
I know when to pinpoint something isn't right. But you will never get there if you don't fail or if you don't go through it. Right?
Correct.
There's an old saying I used to always say, you can give someone a book on how to swim. They can read that book 100 times, but they're not really going to learn how to swim until they jump in the pool or jump into the water. You got to jump. You got to jump in the water.
That's right. And so that's a lot of what we're trying to do here. When we talk about wealth building, it's not necessarily everybody has to be an expert in their item. A lot of it is getting the community where you have a lot of people have the common goal of being a whale in their craft. Right? I want to be the best I can be in my craft. And once you have that, no matter what the topic is, you're gonna bump into each other and say, "Holy shit, I can help you, and you can help me." And I know somebody else that needs your assistance, and so and so that we saw over here. I stole a data point from. Right. I was able to use that to build my. And next thing you know, you look back like, "Damn, I got a hell of a lot better by bumping into the same similar kind of mindset of people in the community."
And to our point, and it's more like about providing service.
That's right.
So
That's
when you
100%.
provide, and we all know the best loans panned out when you provided the best service.
Right.
Not the best interest rate.
Yeah.
No.
Not the best, the best loans panned out.
Wow. So
When you provided the best service.
I've got a client right now. Yeah.
It's all about, and we'll go back to that. They know I'm heavy about the relationship aspect of it.
Yeah, right. 100%.
And I'm heavy about that. So it's a lot of times it's not about the X's and O's. It's like, did you connect?
That's right.
Did you? What did you provide? Did you have the water on the table when I came in?
That's right.
Did you say good morning? Did you ask me how my day was and care?
That's right.
Did I tell you my car wouldn't start, and did I say, hey, I'll send you an Uber?
That's right.
Or we can do it at your home.
Yeah.
Whatever's convenient for you.
Right.
So when you're talking about business and we're talking about being a Whale and we're talking about doing, I think, anything that's all encompassed, it's more about when we're talking about that engagement and having that relationship, it's not about the numbers all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if it don't look good, who cares about that?
That's that service.
Did you provide a service?
That's right.
Did you provide that service without looking for anything back?
Yeah.
And I have a client right now, Shalimar, that I emailed them last night telling them the same exact thing, even though something I believed in years. I have a client right now building an apartment complex here in San Diego for about close to $5 million. And when I first got in contact with this client, he said, hey, Mike, the reason we're reaching out to you is because the broker that did our original loan for the construction of it, my team, is a team of 10 people on this entity, they weren't too comfortable the way this guy did his business. I go, hey man, I'm gonna bend over backwards for you guys. Hopefully I can earn your business, and I'm different than what he was. Like, you don't even need to tell me what he did wrong. I'm confident in who I am. So now fast forward, we get to the point now where we're getting ready to move forward. I laid out all the terms for him. They like it, the whole team likes it. So now I laid out what my fees were. I had no idea what this broker in the past had charged him. He goes, hey Mike, you're 0.5 point higher than what this other guy in the past has provided for us. And I reminded him, I go, hey, is that the same guy you told me that you and your team were happy with the services?
Yeah.
I go, that 0.5 point, I go, have you called me at midnight on a Saturday? And emailed me on a midnight on a Saturday, and I responded within 5 minutes? He goes, yeah. I go, well, that's what I bring to the table. It's not just to you, but to every client. I'm transparent. I'm always going to be there for you. I'm going to know you and your whole family and everyone personally. Yeah. I go, and that's something that I can't say that everyone does. I go, so hopefully you see value in that more. And of course, I'm going to provide you with aggressive terms. Yeah. I'm going to provide you with this very competitive offers, but even more than that, I'm going to provide you me.
Yeah. And look forward to a holiday card.
That's right. That's holiday, anniversary, and happy birthday.
You know what I'm talking
Those go
about?
a long way. They go a long way.
But that's the kind of little thing, free thing, easy thing that a lot of people
cost you nothing.
It costs you nothing.
Well, we
but then
talk
you don't
about this.
understand why
A lot of times people are paying for that experience or that actual
right.
Why are you paying more for that pizza?
That's
why
right.
are you paying more for that
Chick-fil-A.
meal?
You want to go to Ross or you want to go to North
It's because of the actual service
Exactly.
that you're getting when you get there. Yeah. And that hotel, why did you pick that one that was $350 a night versus $75?
Yeah.
Well, it was because when I walked in, they had water, they had coffee.
Right.
It was clean. My bed was made. They changed my sheets. Like.
Right.
It's the experience.
You're absolutely right,
and
Joy.
knowing your value. So that's what I was going to say is good for Mike, because a lot of people in business undervalue themselves because they're scared they're not going to get the sales. And this is something
Especially
I've done to myself.
Yeah, me too. I know what you mean.
You get in and you're like, I just don't want to oversell myself. I want to make sure that I'm being competitive and all these things. But then you undervalue yourself and you don't realize what that does to like your brand. You don't realize what it does to your business. Right. So it's an important point to not have said, okay, I'll go down the 0.5 point.
Right. Exactly. No, I gave you a good product.
Exactly. I gave you a good product and it was worth what it was worth.
Exactly.
Psychologically, it's crazy how human beings were wired to where we see something, man, it can be the same exact pair of shoes. And all of a sudden they're $10 here, but then they're $50 over here or $100 over here. Wait a minute, they're $10. They might have been used. Or there's something's wrong with them, right? Yes. Let me just go pay $100 over here and play it safe, right? So you see that value. So don't undervalue yourself by cutting your price down. It's your service and who you are as a human being that should create that value. And you've earned that fee. You've earned what you charge for, as opposed to saying, oh, okay, dropping your pants and saying, okay, I'll give you what you're asking for, when you're already worth it. You were already there. So now
and it's important to believe in yourself like that, especially when building a business, because you do have a lot of fear. and you are trying something that's so very new,
Right.
it's so easy to question yourself. And unfortunately, we all know when you step out, it's the people that are around you that are doubting you the most. It's the people around you that are like,
The closest people.
why'd you quit your job?
Why'd you quit your job?
Why'd you
That's how I
quit your
get out
job?
Get those people
Because
close to you. They don't
I
get it.
got this. I got this idea,
know,
and I'm gonna do it.
when
but
you
they-
wanna-
And then,
wanna
and then you
surpass
have
them.
people like me who celebrate you too.
Yeah.
Right.
Who 100% brag everywhere I go. I cannot and I celebrate, you know, and not just because of you two, because I got family members who've done that. I got two cousins, Chris and Jock, and said, look, we're going for it.
Right,
and every day they tell me, they say, look, you're not going to be fulfilled until someone take it from you or you jump on your own.
Yeah.
And that's something that I believe in whatever you do.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, and you have people, you know, and a lot of people like to be secure
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
and comfortable.
And that's okay.
And
Not
it
everybody
is,
has to be a
and it
business
is.
owner.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Not everybody has to be an entrepreneur.
We need
it
workers.
truly is what's in your spirit.
Yeah.
But even as a worker,
You gotta be
you
good at
can
your craft.
value yourself.
Boom.
You can be good at your craft. You
Anything.
can still grow. You can still get that salary. There's new workers coming in to take those bottom spots.
Yeah.
Well, shit, you
So-
know, it is. It really, really is.
Yeah.
But now, Mike, we don't want to keep you much longer, but just to give you the opportunity to close this out, is there anything that you would like to provide to the community, like as a word of inspiration?
What do you tell the young Mike out there?
Or the young, or not, that's even better.
Yeah.
Let's take that back. What would you tell the young Mike, fresh out of Marion High School?
Marion Catholic High.
What would
Let
you
them know about it.
honestly tell the young Mike? Because I think that's important.
Live today. I was always too worried about what I was going to do tomorrow, where I was going to
love
be
that.
tomorrow. Live today. Do your best today. If you take care of business today and you do the right thing
Yeah.
today, tomorrow will take care of
Always.
itself.
Yes,
So I was
every
always
single
living in the future. Oh, I got to do this for tomorrow. I got to do this. Where am I going to be here? So if I take care of business today, tomorrow will take care of itself.
Yes.
I don't know if I answered your question, but that's
No,
the
no,
No,
perfect.
that's a perfect way to
I love
end.
it.
Mike B, so I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you for
joining
your
us,
time.
Mike.
Thank you for joining us, man.
It's a beautiful view. Love you,
been
buddy.
great.
All right, man.
All right, guys. Take care, man. Thank you for having me, guys. All right.
right.
Whoa.
Time to take a piss.
All right.
I know. I got a pee break real quick. And then,
I think we all do.
No, I know. That's good.
That good 2-minute mark. You know what I mean? I saw that 2-minute man. No, you come on.
Okay.
Oh, read it, Mike. Oh, here in the back.
So you take panning videos like behind the scenes?
Doing with this?
Oh no, with this. Or like an iPhone. Just like panning what's
Here,
going
use
on.
mine so that we can
You
have
put
them.
this on like stories and stuff like
Yeah, you can have them. Selfish mother.
I told you I was gonna do yours. Shut up, bro.
selfish.
Your job, man.